destiny has a curious end. You are looking for buying a piano. Yet, had you thought of buying something not a piano? It hadn't occurred to you in perhaps one instance today. And you are thinking of how to choose the best item that was not in sum going to amount to this.
Yeah, this is my alley, pal.
And then you found that, would anybody buy a piano from a monster? Of course they would. And I'll tell you for why. The biggest grand piano ever known to be owned was once by a rather corporate body, more green than had intelligence, more prolific to the culture of carefulness, that its pianists were always vetted by, as it were, the concert parties of smaller dinosaurs. That you most certainly would have bought a piano from Dinosaurus Rex, that has now become Tyrannosaurus Rex, none other than, you're listening probably to it now, this is the BBC, and I hope you like it. But, okay, you want a piano, you don't mind that it's like 18 feet long or a bit too wide. But I wonder if we could find the heart of mind to find one that will fit exactly into this room. I do not want a big piano. I do not want to buy a piano from a monster. But of course, the BBC did sell piano, and no bigger monster than the BBC. And one such piano was called Challenge. People made waves in Parliament about what was going to be just for music that created great people such as Teddy. And we are referring, of course, also to the Prime Minister once, whose great friend was herself, Myra Limpani. Yet how many people would go along to a monster to buy a piano and then be told, we also have a choice? Now, this choice that you may be offered, even maybe had made in some paths less or more righteousness. You had to decide that whether to go for the one that they could get ready for next week, whether to go for the one that, in all truth and honesty, the paint wasn't really that dry. But how often do you accept one line from an auctioneer who tells you the length, size, width of it, and come and get it, and you vote for it? You voted for the presidents and the kings and the emperors. You voted perhaps also for instance, not only recently, but let us go back to, for instance, 1943, 44. Emperor Mussolini was imprisoned in a high hotel, let's say, on a mountain, and he was rescued by Fiesler Storch. And this, you often may wonder who was photographing this gentleman, this quaint, large gentleman with the Emperor Mussolini. He had invaded Abyssinia in October of 35, I think. But what frees this man that enables a photographer to take such pictures for posterity and to quaintly cast a wry smile? Such wry smile is a proportion, viewer, of the musician. But to some greater degree of cowardice almost on the part of the pianist than of the Emperor Mussolini, who bravely went to see the Führer to make peace with him and make a pact between Italy. That when it came to the future of Italy, it was in 43 their surrender after Sidi Barani, some hundreds of thousands of surrenderers. That you go along, you buy this and say, well, we were not going to give you any eyewash, we just tell you the straight facts. Yes, they tell you the straight facts. How long sized is the colour of it, they leave everything out. Now, as far as playing it is concerned, would you buy a piano from, say, Mussolini? Well, there you have a job, because Mussolini was hung, drawn and hung upside down, I think, in Rome. But would you buy a piano, for instance, from, let's say, take the person that is going to play you Beethoven. Let's take the Pathetique Sonata, you know the one? I forget the opus, you don't want to hear the opus number. But you are going to judge how good this player is, are you, by the piano, how it sounds, and the first triumphant chords that hit out. They are less triumphant, viewer. They are threatening chords. And these chords, they are threatening what Beethoven saw as the future of Europe becoming into adept hands that could not even control itself. And why can a monster not control itself? You cannot ask the monster and expect to get a reasonable answer. So these first few chords of the Pathetique Sonata come belting out of this piano. And you say to yourself, yes, I could buy this. But the question is it the pianist who is so good? And the pianist turns around to you and says, well, look, sir, it's really not me who's that good. It is the piano. If you're a much better pianist than me, you will play it much better. Your modesty then kicks in, viewer. In all humility, you know you are not as good as her. But you foolishly believe that you are going to make that piano sound and you are going to play Beethoven. Well, my dearest sir, we have some serious lessons to learn in life that may be the smile that is coming from this pianist, which is so prolific of the mouth of the monster, isn't it? It's the size of the mouth, isn't it, as opposed to any interpretation of being funny. The size of the mouth, you think, oh yes, well, we can go along with this if they can get it delivered at a discount. And then you suddenly realize that if you were to go for the better piano, you would get a bigger discount, or in fact they would be offering you the equivalent of free delivery. Now, this free delivery, if it was not going to be by the unnamed piano company, this was going to be by, like, the midwife. And this midwife has little idea of how to be Emperor of Italy. But she quite fancies the idea of China. I have to be honest with you. So, always honest with my customers, viewer. I am who they often refer to as the dinosaur of the Western world, musicians. But they say, well, are you limited? And I say, well, I'm sorry, I'm not. And they say, well, I'm sorry, but we only want to buy a piano from a limited company. Well, can I give you some examples of limited companies? Take Polypec International. They were dissolved, okay? Take DeLorean. They were the car maker. They went out of business, okay? Now, none of them, personally, or few of them, suffered such great loss as to affect for instance, their piano playing. No. So, for instance, you see, let us take the hypothetical Mr. Agnelli, who has written this opera of the piece which I have written recently, and it is, in truth, I'm not pulling your leg, viewer, however, albeit of a big dinosaur. You are entitled to play the piano and see for yourself, but how much do you know yourself? And we establish what is true, and we play this piano, and sure enough, you can make it sound better than you just heard it. But what convinces you to buy it, viewer? What convinces you to buy it, viewer, is that you have heard no better that you can remember. And if you are not playing Beethoven, you are playing yourself. But you are trying to tell yourself so hard, I am nearly in tears, that it is not you playing, it is Beethoven. Or more truly, viewer, I ask you to ask yourself, is it more greatly you that I am hearing now, the Emperor of China, whose most beautiful wife sings such soprano, she hardly would need my accompaniment on the piano. We come to the state of what you might call the piano that the talented musician is looking for. And you're looking for something extra special. You're not looking for instance, a pile of junk. How do you decide what is a pile of junk? If you are, for instance, a brilliant player, and you know a little bit about the manufacture of pianos, would you say, for instance, that a Challen piano is very good? You would, yes. Okay, well, they are, for instance, now not made as some sellers tell you in London. They are made in China. So, does that surprise anybody? No, I won't get a reply, will I, about that? And what about the Yamaha piano that is made in Milton Keynes? What do you have to say about that? You thought they were Japanese? Aye. We have come, viewer, so far, or this dinosaur has, come so far from the Hiroshima disaster that it's almost that the more nuclear commotion that you can create really does make pathos to the art of war such you would not need to compare another annihilation of, for instance, Frederick Chopin to be able to know that you are definitely going to be elected, viewer, as the buyer of the year of that grand piano. I have to tell you that in some years, not too far gone, my friend, her father, was like the top salesman for Fleet Street, and in 1957 won the Parker Pen Award, 57 Parker pens for Salesman of the Year. This was absolutely in touch with the training which he had had with Pitman's College, which it's all out of fashion now because computers have taken over from typewriters. But this man was this person's father, let's say. This was a real person. They could sell sand in the desert. They could pick up orders from, for instance, the local supermarket that was closing next week and sell them 10 years worth of orders. Or they were going to find that had they continued to live, that the skill of such your ambassadors was going to create such annihilation to the artists in Parliament that it could not look after the Emperor of even Japan, who was holding in some balance of power the future of Syria. Now, you want to buy a piano, you are no fool, viewer, but just in honor to me, I am going to sing about me, what kind of fool I am. Whoa, what is that? What is man? Dream. Ain't you dream of all women?
Kind of fool am I? There was a time when we were shown, when we did out and out, and there was a place when we were starting over. We let the bow break, we let the heartaches in. Sorry now. Who's sorry now? Who's sorry now? What kind of fool am I? What kind of man am I? What kind of tears apart my world? What kind of fool am I? That tears this pain and sorrow. What kind of wind will there be for me tomorrow? What kind of fool am I? For being, as they say, big skull am I. That tears me apart, then leaving me this pain. It is no sorrow, days. What kind of fool am I, who never fell in love? Who never found a boy or a girl? What kind of man leads an empire to any guilt or swollen promises? Lead them to me. For I am just a fool. For I am just a fool. I am just a fool. Am I? The kind where love begins.
What is brand? What is brand? Dream, painted dream of all wind.
What is brand? Can I paint a dream of all wind? To make three sisters. I threw king and third my Christ. Describes brilliant by plenty by which I told for this that this is more truly. But take your path to discover as much as is true of it.
What kind of fool am I?
Then that which is not true is fate.
There was
To
a
be
time
done.
when we were shown,
Not even
when we did our now.
once created greatness. That is Spenn's whole arm is the pursuit to save the many by order of one.
When we were starting over,
Then see that this brand plays so
celebrate.
forcefully war, I
we
believe.
let the heartache
Then to victory, merely to triumph, where showed me much by grand patriot or monarch to be the worth of by accolade, by symbols of the all, may win a word, Far East War, the donkey army, by symbol of state, let be the measure of its border, my throne. By symbol to the air, parameters of sun, by his mentioned by Skittles, Martin in the forest. For who truly loves rain and village, even more cold, the kingdom by parameters of empire? Who would such right to call by such borders by brand, to live by what measure, to a less valuable people? So, where brand is dimension is as varied as the soldier of an astonished heart, but as much as it is wasted by all in some ignorance that you call greatness. Yet may live where another made, yet never so much my brand.
What kind of fool am I?
Oh, I know why I'm not even a general
What
degree.
kind of man am I?
The brand is imposter that lays more than your dream to wait, but for as much as one.
My world. What kind of fool am I? That tears this pain and sorrow. What kind of wind will there be for me tomorrow? What kind of fool am I?
It is surely much more than to the men that made it so repulsive, who never had but seen this field, nor what again. Ever so much live tonight at his brand, little Jenna.
Cries tomorrow. That's what a day. What kind of fool am I, who never fell in love? Who never found a boy? Or a girl? What kind of man leads an empire to any guilt or swollen promises lead them to me? For I am just a fool. For I am just a fool. I am just this, a fool, am I, the kind where love begins.
This field, no water gain. Ever so much live tonight that is brand. That is brand. Your general. Your general.
Just a fool. For I am just a fool. I am just a fool. Am I? The kind where love begins.